Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Yesterday, one of my videos was about the SNP paying for Peter Murrell's legal fees. Humza Yousaf said he did not know, he would have to check it, and find out, which was obviously a lie, because he obviously did know, because if he didn't know, then he's incompetent. If he's not speaking to the lawyer, he is a moron. So he's either incompetent or he's a liar. It's one of the two. He can pick which one he prefers. But undoubtedly, the SNP are paying for Peter Murrell's defence, and we know that because the SNP have hired just about the most expensive lawyer in Scotland to do this for him, to defend Peter Murrell, and that is being paid for by the members of the SNP. Their money that they're paying to the party to fight for independence is now going to the defence fund of an ex-CEO who may be a sleazebag, who may have embezzled hundreds of thousands of pounds from the party, and now the party members are paying to defend him. That's money that's going to be thrown down the drain if he loses, in which case they've not only had the money stolen, they've then paid to defend the man who may have stolen it. It seems very, very wrong that the membership should be paying for a private citizen's defence. We'll take a look at this article and see who they have hired. Yeah, so as I say, yesterday Humza Yousaf stood there and barefaced lied to people when he said he didn't know if the SNP were paying for Peter Murrell's defence. He must absolutely have known. This is a very, very expensive man, and there's no way he didn't know. The only way he wouldn't know is if he was deliberately kept out of that loop, and I cannot see that being the case. So yeah, again, the man who lies a lot lied some more. We're not surprised. Anyway, SNP hire expensive, high-profile financial crime lawyer amid police probe into accounts. The Nationalist Party has hired Stuart Munro to represent it amid the ongoing police probe into its accounts, which saw former Chief Executive Peter Murrell arrested on Wednesday. And that is Stuart Munro from Livingston Brown, as you can see from the picture. The SNP has forked out to hire this expensive financial expert lawyer, despite claims that no current staff members are suspected of wrongdoing. So why are they paying for an expensive lawyer for someone who's not on their staff? Why are the members of the party paying for a man's defence when that man no longer works for the party? Humza Yousaf claimed on Thursday that he would not be firing or asking any other SNP staffer to step back from their roles following police raids at its HQ and at the home of Peter Murrell and Nicola Sturgeon. I think he won't be firing them for that or asking them to step back from that. But I think given the state of the state of their finances, their lack of cash, I think there'll be quite a few people let go, to put it in that way, because they won't have the salaries available. They won't be able to pay these people. The party's former chief executive was arrested by cops and quizzed for almost 12 hours over the allegedly missing 600k. It is understood that the SNP have hired Stuart Munro to represent the party as the investigation into it heats up. His areas of expertise include white-collar crime and associated litigation, and allegations of financial crime, according to the website. No current member of staff have been questioned by police under caution, it is understood. So the acquisition of Mr Munro has raised eyebrows among opposition critics. Yes, why is the SNP hiring a lawyer when no one in the SNP has even been questioned by police or is under any sort of suspicion? This sounds like funds being spent illegally, because if they're spending on that on a private citizen, that's got to be breaking some kind of parliamentary rule on spending. The Telegraph reported that Mr Munro has been engaged by the SNP and that the party is not paying Mr Murrell's legal fees, with the former chief executive already being arrested and then released by cops. But if they're hiring him, they've got to hire him to prove Murrell innocent, because if Murrell is guilty, then that's the SNP finished. So that line about not paying Mr Murrell's legal fees is a lie. They are paying this solicitor to make sure that Murrell gets off. Mr Munro acted for Andy Coulson, the disgraced former News of the World editor, and also represented David Whitehouse, the ex-Rangers administrator, who sued the Crown Office and was awarded more than $10 million in compensation after he was wrongly prosecuted for fraud. It is not the first time the leading lawyer has been hired by the SNP. He was involved in its submission to the Supreme Court, claiming that Holyrood had the power to hold an independence referendum, and he lost. So he's not a very good lawyer, and they've gone with the lawyer that lost the last case, and they're going to stick with him this time. I think that's great news. I think Peter Murrell will be going down. But this submission was dismissed by the judges, especially due to the fact that it included references to the Kosovo's violent struggles to gain independence. A Scottish Tory source told the Telegraph eyebrows will be raised among not only the public but by SNP members that the party are once again relying on this particular lawyer. He submitted the SNP's debunked Supreme Court submission, which crassly compared Scottish independence to Kosovo struggle, but that does not appear to put the SNP off again asking him for help. They must be fully transparent over what is happening in relation to this investigation at all times. But you're asking the impossible. You're asking the SNP to be transparent. That is the absolute last thing that party can ever afford to be. If they were transparent, they would immediately cease to exist because the truth would be so damaging. Mr. Munro's hiring calls into question Mr. Yousaf's claims that only Mr. Murrell was potentially at fault for the police probe, which plagued his first fortnight in the job. He was asked by journalists about why he had not refreshed the staff within the SNP HQ who may have been involved with the investigation, and how could they stay in their roles if they've been questioned by police. Yeah, everyone attached to Murrell, everyone in the region where Murrell worked, has to be replaced. Maybe not fired, but moved to a different department. Moved to do something else. Clean the stables, because these stables are just filled with horse shit, aren't they? Mr. Yousaf said Peter, as the chief executive, really had an important role to play in terms of the party's finances. That's undeniable and unquestionable. And Peter is not longer there. I think he means no longer there. There's an opportunity for us to have an open recruitment for a new chief executive, which I'm quite excited about that prospect, because it gives us the opportunity to hopefully bring in new standards of governance to the party. So there he's admitting that governance is a fault. He says, I don't think other people who've been in the HQ who have served the party loyally should be told to either step down or step away because Peter was questioned under caution. And that is why you are so unfit to lead. A man who can lead from the front, who can make the difficult decisions, would say that the department is tainted. He's not going to point the finger at any particular person, but to give the optics to the public that it's being cleaned. Everybody involved in that department needs to be moved to a different department, a whole new shuffle. Old alliances broken, new people brought in. It's as simple as that. But Humza Yousaf cannot do that because he doesn't have the spine. He lacks the intelligence to see the problem. He lacks the ability to solve the problem that he can't actually see. And he lacks the balls to do it. The man is wonderful, isn't he? He's bringing down the SNP brick by brick, day by day. He is doing he's the best thing that could happen to the SNP, because soon it won't exist. Anyway, I shall round this bit off, come up and round off the video. So he sits there yesterday and says he doesn't know that whether the party's paying for solicitors. Now it comes out they're not only paying for solicitors, they're paying for very expensive solicitors, and typically for the SNP, they're paying for very expensive solicitors that can't win cases, that have lost the last couple of cases they've had for the SNP. It makes you wonder who's getting a backhander here. Is someone in the party hiring this guy getting, say, 20% of the fee regardless of result? I wouldn't put it past them. Not saying it's happening, but I wouldn't put it past them, given how sleazy the SNP truly is. But the members need to be questioning. The members need to be up in arms and saying, why are you taking our money to defend someone like this, to defend a position of someone who no longer works for the party? We are not paying for legal fees. We're paying to run a party to give us independence. And yet all our money is going on that. The party is almost bankrupt. A good hefty bill from solicitors now will hopefully put it out of its misery and out of our misery. It's on a tipping point. And if it does go one more, I think one or two more little knocks, and the party could actually be in very, very deep trouble. As for Humza Yousaf himself, of course, it's never ending for him. I don't know how he's still there. I really don't. His first 2 weeks, and it's been non-stop chaos, chaos, chaos. He's gone from crisis to crisis. He cannot continue in the role, a role he is completely unsuited for, and incapable of exercising. So I think these little things, all these little things, they keep snowballing, and I think eventually he's going to go, and not before time. Anyway, I shall round off there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, never ever hire bad solicitors, and goodbye.